Amazon's massive return-to-office mandate just backfired spectacularly, and the data is shocking. While executives promised increased productivity and collaboration, new research analyzing 12 million employee reviews reveals the complete opposite happened. If you're a leader wrestling with remote work decisions, this could save your company millions in turnover costs and completely change how you think about productivity. Here's what's really happening in corporate America right now. The University of Pittsburgh just released groundbreaking research analyzing 12 million Glassdoor reviews, and the results are devastating for companies pushing full-time office mandates. Employee satisfaction plummeted, attrition rates skyrocketed, and the employees leaving aren't just anyone, they're the senior talent and high-performing women that companies can least afford to lose. But here's the million-dollar question that every leader is asking: what actually drives productivity? Because if return to office isn't the answer, then what is? I'm going to break down 3 key findings from this massive study that every business leader needs to understand, plus show you the productivity frameworks that successful companies are actually using in 2025. This isn't theory. This is data from millions of real employees across hundreds of companies. If you're getting value from these research-backed business insights, hit that subscribe button. We analyze the latest leadership data and Fortune 500 strategies every week. Strategy 1. Understanding the true cost of forced office returns. The University of Pittsburgh study revealed something that should terrify every executive. Full-time office mandates in 2024 triggered sharp drops in employee satisfaction across the board. But here's what makes this data so powerful. It wasn't just a small dip. We're talking about measurable, significant declines that directly correlate with increased turnover intentions. Amazon's approach was particularly aggressive. They mandated 5 days in the office starting January 2025, and the employee backlash was immediate. Internal surveys showed satisfaction scores dropping, with employees specifically citing loss of work-life balance and increased commute stress as primary concerns. But here's where smart leaders can learn. The companies that succeeded during this period didn't just mandate office returns. They redesigned the office experience entirely. Microsoft, for example, created collaboration zones specifically designed for the activities that actually benefit from in-person interaction, while maintaining flexibility for deep work. The implementation framework that works. First, audit which activities truly benefit from in-person collaboration. Second, design office spaces for those specific functions. Third, maintain flexibility for individual productivity work. Companies using this approach saw satisfaction scores actually increase during the transition period. Strategy 2. Recognizing who actually leaves during office mandates. Here's where the data gets really concerning for companies. The university study found that return-to-office mandates didn't just increase overall attrition, they created a brain drain. Senior talent and high-performing women were disproportionately likely to leave, taking years of institutional knowledge and leadership capability with them. Quick question: which of these findings surprises you most? Drop it in the comments below. And if this data is helping you think differently about workplace strategy, smash that like button. The financial impact is staggering. Replacing a senior employee costs an average of 200% of their annual salary when you factor in recruitment, training, and lost productivity. For companies with thousands of employees, we're talking about tens of millions in unnecessary turnover costs. But here's what successful companies did differently. They implemented what I call talent retention intelligence. Before making any workplace changes, they surveyed their highest performers specifically, not just general employee populations. Companies like Salesforce discovered that their top talent valued flexibility more than any other benefit, including compensation increases. The smart approach: create different policies for different talent segments. Your senior developers might thrive completely remote, while your junior marketing team might benefit from more office interaction. One-size-fits-all policies are productivity killers. Strategy 3. What actually drives productivity in 2025? This is where the research gets fascinating. While companies were focused on where work happened, the highest-performing organizations were focused on how work happened. The data shows that productivity isn't location-dependent, it's systems-dependent. Companies achieving the highest productivity scores in 2025 had 3 things in common. First, they used AI-powered workflow optimization. Tools like Motion for intelligent scheduling and Notion AI for knowledge management. Second, they implemented outcome-based performance metrics instead of time-based ones. Third, they invested heavily in asynchronous collaboration tools. Business leaders who understand this are joining our community for strategies exactly like this. If you want to think and act like a Fortune 500 executive, subscribe and hit the notification bell for weekly insights on what's actually driving business results. The companies that thrived during the remote work transition didn't just survive office mandate controversy, they used it as a competitive advantage. While competitors were fighting internal battles about location, these companies were optimizing for results. Here's the framework they used. Replace meeting-heavy cultures with documentation-heavy cultures. Replace presence-based evaluation with output-based evaluation. Replace micromanagement with outcome accountability. The result? Higher productivity, higher satisfaction, and lower turnover, regardless of where people worked. Here's your step-by-step action plan to implement these findings. Start with Strategy 1. Audit your current workplace policies. Survey your employees specifically about what drives their productivity. Don't assume, measure. This should take about 2 weeks. Then move to Strategy 2. Identify your flight risk talent segments. Create retention-focused policies for your highest performers before implementing any major workplace changes. Timeline: 1 month for analysis, 2 weeks for policy development. Finally, Strategy 3. Implement productivity measurement systems that focus on outcomes, not hours or location. Begin with pilot teams and expand based on results. Give this process 90 days to show measurable improvement. The key is implementation order. If you rush to change workplace policies without understanding your talent segments and productivity drivers, you'll repeat Amazon's mistakes. Share your implementation progress in the comments. I'd love to hear which strategy you're starting with first. Before you implement these research-backed strategies, help other leaders discover this data. Hit like if this university study opened your eyes to what's really happening with return-to-office mandates. Subscribe for more data-driven leadership insights like this. We analyze the latest research every week so you can make better business decisions. And share this with any leader who's struggling with workplace flexibility decisions. Which finding from the 12 million employee study surprised you most? Was it the talent exodus data, the productivity paradox, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments. Your insights help shape our future research breakdowns. Next week, we'll dive into Economic Uncertainty 2025 and successful strategies CEOs are using for 2.8% growth. Join our community of leaders who use data to drive decisions instead of just following trends. Subscribe now, and remember, the best leaders don't guess about what drives productivity. They measure it.